if you want. He can make you one. Guitar Hero, like if they make a Jingo's version, like you're playing a Glen Murray or something. Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to our weekly post-launch webcast. I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Hope everyone had a fantastic week. It's Friday again, so congratulations. If you're watching from Las Vegas, we're expecting a beautiful weekend weekend, right? Should be mid-70s, a great time to get outside, a great time to run around, go hiking, go camping, go picnicking.
Going hiking the Colorado River this weekend.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's awesome.
With me today is my friend Eric Astramecki. Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
This guy's got the coolest last name ever. Eric and I, we go back a couple years. We met each other when you were working with a major, let's call them telecom company, who won't be named in this this podcast, this webcast, at risk that they throttle our bandwidth and we don't get to publish anymore.
There you go.
Eric is the founder of the Intrinsic Technology Group, and we kept in touch after our initial business together with the other firm that you were with, and you've started Intrinsic Technology. How long ago now?
4 months.
Okay.
4 months.
And I'm going to do my best to my understanding of what you do. And I thought this was really, really pretty impressive. And it resonated with me because this is something that a lot of people run into. They, if you're starting a business or you're opening a business or you're moving your business or you're doing stuff, you work with a traditional telecom company to bring internet, phone, Wi-Fi, soft phones, all sorts of different stuff, even IT stuff, setup and management into your building, into your company, into your facility.
Yep.
But it's super confusing to most people. I mean, even people, I consider myself a highly, highly intelligent human being.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that smart. But in the space of digital marketing, internet marketing, people look at us as smart people. When it comes to picking things like how much bandwidth do I need for my office? How much, what sort of telephones are going to be the best solution? It's confusing. You don't know. You look at prices, people make decisions based off the wrong things, and they end up with, not necessarily the best possible package. Eric was in that space for a long, long time. And what I understand about what Intrinsic does, and I'm going to stop and let you give your own pitch in a minute, but I love the fact that you serve as sort of an independent third-party consultant to companies like mine to come in and say, listen, here's an opportunity to save money. Here's an opportunity for this to work better. Here's an opportunity for X, Y, and Z to all be happening better.
Yep.
Is that pretty close?
Yep. And so that's basically what we pride ourselves on really doing is, a lot of the way a typical business, we experience is set up is that you have your telecommunications company, which is your internet and phone provider, and you have your sales rep there. Then you usually have an IT company, and then usually you have your phone system, and you have a phone vendor. And anytime you want to change, you have to coordinate getting these three people together, and all of them have different aspects that they kind of handle on your network. But a lot of times what we realize for business is a lot of them don't work fluidly with each other. And so what you end up doing as a business owner is you have, when you want to browse or look at an internet provider phone, you Google it, and then you set up 4 or 5 different appointments to set up different sales reps to come out and all pitch different services and all tell you need different things.
Right.
And usually what we experience is that when we go into a business, we're looking at it from a 365-degree view. We're understanding how your business communicates, right? Do you use instant messaging more? Do you need that capability to be in your phone system? Do you have people that are out in the field all the time?
Right. Video broadcasting.
Yep, video broadcasting. And then what we do...
Sell stuff,
Yep,
right?
exactly. We have clients that will have 4 or 5 techs out in the field, and they'll actually be able to video chat each other in real time and be able to be taking conferences that are going in the office. And so what we really specialize in doing is find innovative ways for companies to leverage new technologies in the workplace to drive down their costs and to increase efficiencies, do it. The way our goal is when we go in and we're designing your phone system or coordinating your internet provider and everything, all of these are tools that should be making you money.
Right.
They should not be a business expense.
Right.
And so we go in and try and really show companies how they can lower their cost and then use that to then generate more revenue so that they're actually leveraging technologies to bring revenue in, versus having it as an expense.
So here's something that also resonated with me. By comparison, my company is probably relatively simple when it comes to telecom technology stack.
Mm-hmm.
But my wife, who's a pediatric dentist who owns 2 practices, and they run a single EMR that, you know, electronic medical record system, which a lot of medical facilities use. A lot of the times they're not cloud-based. A lot of times they need real-time access to that data at both locations. So they might be looking at some sort of fiber solution. They might be looking at some sort of mirrored install instance at different locations. That's tricky stuff. I would say out of the actual IT people I know, if I had to think of, you know, the 10 that come to the top of my mind, there probably is maybe one who I would trust putting that together, and that would be you and your team, because that stuff is super complex. Now, you have a team of experts that are behind you to really help make sure that this is done correctly, done accurately. And anybody in a growing business, this becomes super, super important. Because if your stuff isn't working, if you can't communicate to your team, to your customers, to your vendors, to everyone else you've got going on, you're sort of screwed, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, the biggest thing, too, is being able to have a dedicated resource for a business. You know, it's not only just, okay, let's figure out the solution that's going to work best and then working with you to implement it, but also the ongoing support factor. You know, a lot of times if you have these large telecommunications carriers and you have an issue or an outage, you're calling into a 1-800 number support, and you may not necessarily understand what's wrong. You just know that your phones aren't working. And it's a lot different experience when we have a client that's, you know, for instance, you're a CEO, you don't have time to call in a carrier, excuse me, and you know, stay on the hold for 45 minutes to try and troubleshoot issues.
So that's a perfect. So here's what I absolutely hate. When I have to call the company who shall not be named, but their name sounds like a bad word for dicks. I don't want to be sold anything. I want you to fix my problem and get me off the phone. But every single effing time I get on the phone, they're like, maybe you should try buying this. Maybe you should upgrade to this. Maybe you should change this. And I just don't have time to do it. When I'm ready to buy, I'll call you when I'm ready to buy. But I hate being sold, and I hate them asking me, you know, who's your phone provider at home, or, you know, who does your credit card processing. Having some, they've taken, so they're huge mashy multinational organizations. So they've taken the human element out of it, which is painful to a lot of business owners.
It is a very frustrating experience, and that's where we really come, and that's where we really grow. And that's what we're good at, is bridging that communication. So a lot of time business owners just want to say, hey, this is our issue we're having, go and fix it. They just want to know that they can call one person and that they're going to say, okay, we're going to have it fixed in 30 minutes and know that that's going to get taken care of. They're not going to have to wait on hold. They're not going to have to wait for a follow-up call, wait 5 hours for a tech to come out. And so that's really what we do, is we call in tickets for our clients, we coordinate techs to come out, we work with them to troubleshoot the issues, and by us doing that on behalf of the customer versus having the customer calls in, we're able to reduce and get things fixed quicker, because when we're calling the carrier we're saying this is the problem, this is what needs to be fixed, and we're staying on the phone until it's fixed. And then we verified, and then we let them off the phone.
So versus, that's perfect.
You know, you call in, it's okay, well, I'll call you back in an hour and then we'll troubleshoot and we'll see if it's fixed. It's a completely different user experience, and that's what we, really thrive.
So a lot of CEOs, a lot of do-it-yourselfers, this is similar to what similar in the way that post-launch offers its services. We go through and we look at, what do? We blog, we do SEO, we help people get business to their website. The reality is that it's not rocket science. And a lot of people could do it, but it's time back in your day. We can do it faster, cheaper, more effectively, and better than you can spend, your entire morning, afternoon, weekend troubleshooting your own IT garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. What most companies do when they're looking for an internet provider is they'll usually reach out to 2 or 3 different companies, right? And then they'll set up appointments for those sales reps from those companies to come out. Typically, you're not going to make a decision in the first meeting. So you're going to have 3 separate meetings with 3 different organizations, with 3 different designs, with 3 different follow-up appointments, 3 different contracts, 3 different people do it. And as a business owner, that can be a very frustrating experience, and you don't know which way to go. You have 3 different people that are all trying to sell you different things, and you just want someone that truly cares about your business and understands how your business operates, and then can handle and say, hey, you know what? You don't want to do this because this could work better. Or maybe we could leverage this and drive this, and then that will save you over here, which then we could leverage this new piece of technology that you've been wanting to put in your business, but due to cash flow, you couldn't do it. And so we're always looking for, I said, unique and innovative ways to make them more efficient, empower them with more technology, and make sure they're trained on it, they know how to use it, and that they actually enjoy using it, and it helps their business grow, and it helps them interact better with their clients. That's what we're truly focused on.
And Intrinsic Technology Group is happy to come by and do a free consultation, evaluate what you've got in place.
Yep.
We're going to link up all of Eric's contact information in the video footer once this gets published. But you can Google Intrinsic Technology Group Las Vegas right now and find your contact information.
Yes,
and,
you can.
You want to throw your phone number in there really quick?
Yeah, my direct line is 702-300-1632. Otherwise, our main office line is 725-222-3030.
And again, we'll mention it again at the end of the show, but hopefully you'll start getting calls midway through the show or people texting you pictures of their...
Absolutely. We'll go out to your site. We'll meet with you. We'll talk about what your business is looking at doing. If there was any software you're looking to, maybe it'll work for us. We do the research for you. We'll go out and find what your business needs and work with you. And as I said, all of our consultation work and everything in the beginning is free. If we can't find a way to save your business money, there's no revenue whatsoever.
Right. So you touched on an interesting point, which was the time it takes to figure this out on your own. Mm-hmm. And as a business owner, as you're describing having the sales reps come out, I'm like inside I'm cringing. I'm like,
I used to be one of them, so I know.
I don't even have time. I barely have time to take the meetings that I really need to have business.
Yep.
Let alone 20 hours or more to be able to sit down, review, vet, take bids, take competitive bids, argue pricing. And it's just a huge pain in the ass. So going through and doing all that stuff, if you have that much time, your issue is more like you're going to go out of business soon. Yeah. So you should probably just not hire anybody.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump in to some of the stuff that happened around the web this week. There were some cool things happening, and I took the opportunity. I did go and see the Deadpool movie on opening weekend.
I'm seeing that today. How is it? I hear it's amazing.
It is hilarious and phenomenal. It broke a record for the highest grossing R-rated movie
Russia.
That's opening. What's that?
In Russia, right?
No, worldwide. Deadpool history, highest grossing R-rated movie in its opening weekend ever. The one that had the record before was 50 Shades of Grey.
Did you beat Star Wars?
Well, Star Wars wasn't R-rated.
Oh, okay, that was the difference. Okay.
Yeah, you'd gotta love. The cool thing about record breaking is that there's always some way to do it, and I always joke around that we get to meet a lot of authors that come in and say, "Hey, will you help us market our book? Will you help us? This was a New York Times bestseller." The beauty about being a New York Times bestseller is you might be the bestseller on the third Thursday in March at 9 a.m. for 45 minutes. And then you get to claim a New York Times bestseller.
Really?
Pretty cool, right?
I didn't know what the parameters were on that. That's awesome.
I think that you just get the designation. It's like being the thing they do in Las Vegas, the best of Las Vegas. All you got to do to win it is just sort of submit yourself. Awards are BS. It's always, it's extremely rare that somebody's giving an award without some sort of ulterior motive.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time they want to sell you a plaque or sell you something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely there's a monetary gain that they're hoping to possibly get. So
right. Also around the web, this was a fun one. We do this at home. Science is finding that watching cat videos actually boosts your work performance.
I believe it.
I was so happy to get this news. I was looking to change my job title to like official. I can't be like the official pussy consumer, but I could be like the cat video watching guy.
I will tell you from experience that in our office, I have 2 cats that stay in there all the time. Right. And they will fight right in front of my desk.
Really?
And it is singly the funniest thing. And I can't tell you how many days that I've been having a rough day and all of a sudden you hear it's these cats fighting. And so I believe it. If I can watch cat videos fighting all day,
right,
it'll increase employee morale. Let's do it.
Right. It's awesome. I think we should figure out a way to just get like a streaming
just a video. Constant loop of cat videos going.
This would be bad, I think, for an organization like us. Certainly for myself, because I get shiny object syndrome.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. But I always thought it would be fun. So this is changing. So I thought it would be fun to plant speakers up in the ceiling above my staff's desk and then be able to just like microphone in and be like, hey, what are you doing? Hey. And someone's like, what is that? And then all of a sudden blast, AC/DC super loud or something in the office. But now I feel like it would be great to have a giant monitor in the office that I could just turn on a cat video and everyone's like, oh.
Cat video of the week.
Right.
There you go.
Right. So the actual note is viewing cute things improves subsequent performance in tasks that require behavioral carefulness. Cool. So go ahead and let your team or encourage your teams to watch cat videos.
Right now, go on YouTube, watch a cat video.
Yeah.
You're having a bad day, watch a cat video.
Boost your energy level. Positive
Get
emotions.
you ready for the weekend.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. So yeah, lots of interesting.
That's awesome.
A big win on the cat video front.
Absolutely.
Some of the other stuff from around the web today, around the web this week. This was an interesting one. I don't know if you saw this.
Oh, I have not.
This article came out that said all babies born in the EU will be microchipped. They had to wear a microchip. And the article claimed that they would have to go through and they would be able to track a GPS sensor. They'd have to get it redone every 2 years so that they could track people. They could track their, consumptions, their location, whatever they're going to do. This got shared on social media almost 1 million times. Only to find out it was a fake article.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like,
Right.
I don't see how so many conventions didn't even stop this before it came into play.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I'm not a big proponent of someone sticking a chip in the back of my neck.
No, And privacy. We're going to jump into privacy online and in our social and our stuff in a minute. But it's funny. Somebody, when I was reading the debunked version of this, someone's like, "That's not even a microchip in there."
It's a postage stamp.
Yeah, right. It's a postage stamp on a sticker
baby.
that someone put in there. Right. Yeah, you're right. It's not even a baby. You can actually see liver spots on this arm.
Yeah.
Like babies in Europe are so unhealthy that they've got liver spots when they're coming out of it. That's terrible. And if you're watching from Europe, we know you're healthier than us Americans. So
Exactly.
So just simmer down.
It's all right, yeah.
So, it's funny. I was having a discussion with a colleague yesterday about online privacy, and he brought up the Apple
Oh, yeah.
and FBI.
Yep.
What are we going to call it? Rumble in the Jungle.
Yeah, been following that very closely, watching that.
So what had happened, and if I get the backstory wrong, chime in. But essentially, there was the FBI believed that there was an opportunity to get some information from Apple secure servers to help solve a fairly heinous crime, right?
Yes.
It was a murder.
Yep.
It raises a really interesting debate. And I'm not even sure, honestly, which side of it I fall on right now, but this was, 3 days ago this came out?
Absolutely.
The United States government demanded Apple take an unprecedented step which threatens the security of our customers. So, nobody wants anybody to get murdered, right?
No.
Nobody wants anybody to get raped.
No.
Nobody wants anybody kidnapped.
Absolutely
Every
not.
time, I've got little kids. Every time I see an Amber Alert, I get, I get all bent out of shape.
Yeah.
Right. And it's really, really pretty rough. If giving access to and this is my opinion, this is an official political stance.
Yeah.
If giving access to the federal government would mean that nobody ever got kidnapped, nobody ever got raped, nobody ever got hurt, nobody ever got abused, crime stopped entirely, I might be more into it. However, the big concern is that once you open a back door into a private network like this, that back door never closes. It's a slippery slope, and depending on the state of the world we live in, and whomever is identified as an enemy at this point, which it changes. When you think back to probably not your parents' generation, but my parents' generation, when we had Japanese internment camps in the United States. If that were the case, and we determined that they're no longer an enemy, but at the time they were an enemy, and we rounded up Japanese expatriates and we put them in concentration internment camps, essentially outdoor prisons. So, giving people access to this private information and learning everything about them, do we all of a sudden start arresting people who are, who like to smoke marijuana, people who like to drive too fast? People who take pictures of themselves in unattractive clothing. I mean, it does become a really slippery slope. And I say kudos to Apple for saying no.
Yes.
Unfortunately, at the same time, I want humans to stop hurting other humans.
Absolutely, and that's the big moral dilemma.
Right.
But the thing about Apple, and the reason, we have a lot of clients, especially that use Apple products, and a big reason why Apple is where it is today is because that Linux is a secure operating system.
Right.
You can't get into iOS and do it. And so
Right.
the problem with building a backdoor is exactly as you said. When something is secure, it's either secure or it's not secure. There's no,
Right.
if we build a backdoor, it's only able to access this. And specifically with Apple and what they're doing is the FBI at first wanted to help them allow, when you have an iPhone, you try entering your password, it will lock you out if you have don't do it correctly.
A couple of mistries.
Yep, and then the more times you do it, the longer you have to wait to retry.
Right.
Well, what the FBI wants Apple to do is to erase the encryption that allows that so they can plug it in and brute force attack it, which means basically plugging a computer in, keep hitting the pins until eventually they get in.
Okay.
The problem with doing that is once you build a door, you have to trust that the people that are using that door to get in are only using it for the things they're saying it.
Right.
And so it's a big concern of Apple is because they don't view that necessarily the people who are asking for this access have the best track record of using it. And
God.
they worry that, imagine Apple's reputation if all of a sudden everyone on an iPhone all of a sudden has to worry about, you have this photo stored on your phone. Hey, we saw you were in California last week because the GPS on your phone told us.
Right.
Right. And that's the part as a person who deals in technology, that's what scares me as we have hospitals and clinics too, and hospitals and clinics that have Apple stuff, and I can tell you from there they would be a big, huge privacy concern.
Right. Right. So I wonder, clearly we both agree that, the privacy, we're entitled to our personal privacy. I wonder if, enough fear-mongering is going to turn us around as a society and say, yeah, maybe law enforcement should have it. But here's the other thing that I chuckle about, right? Like we go toe-to-toe with, on an international scale with like hardcore hackers, right? When we get hacked by China, we hack them back. When we get hacked by Korea, we hack them back.
Absolutely.
6 months ago, was it? That every single, all these nude celebrity photos that got hacked out of iCloud? I can't believe that Apple's systems are that secure anyway. And they got leaked. Remember the fappening? Remember hearing about that?
Oh, yeah.
The fappening? If everybody doesn't remember what the fappening is, that's the sound of the world collectively beating off.
Yes.
Fap, 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 fap.
So
if you look up hashtag the fappening, that's what that was all about.
Yes.
So Apple's already been hacked, and I honestly, I hate to say it, but this might even just be a non-issue. I would have to expect that the government at the most secure levels has the ability to get access to these phones. If
And
they need
then there was a separate article on that which said were they just then going to Apple and saying, hey, can you do this? To cover their butts because they already had gotten access.
Right.
And now when they have to justify, where did you get all this information?
Right.
Because you're absolutely right. And that's the thing about the scary part of backdoors. If you build one backdoor and you know that it can't, Apple's impervious now because as of now everyone thinks that they can't get into it.
Right.
But once it said, hey, we built a backdoor, then it becomes, okay, it's not a matter of if we can do it.
Yep.
We can do it. It's just now it's finding the person to be able to do it. And then how do you control who has access, who does what?
Right.
And it's a very tough conversation to have as you have to balance privacy and security without forfeiting one or the other.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out and exactly to see, is the fear mongering going to make it so that we give more and more access to technology to the government to be able to monitor us, to be able to protect us.
Right. Right.
And everyone has their different viewpoints on that. Personally, I think Apple's doing the right thing. I think that they can help, but I don't think it's so far as give an organization entire access to everything that you've built.
Right.
All of your customer base, and then trust them to completely, how many people have access to it. There's just so many things that go into it, and to trust them to handle it accordingly.
Do we actually think that in the world of Internet of Things, where tracking is the norm?
Yeah.
Right? My refrigerator tells me when I should eat. My toaster tells me that I haven't made toast in a while. My car drives itself.
Yep.
Right? All these things. I already make the comment that online privacy is a total illusion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And as an internet marketer, the amount of data that I get can be classified as inappropriate.
Absolutely.
But I wonder if you've made the case, and you stated here that it's likely that everybody can already see everything that's going on anyway.
Mm-hmm. So
on a I can't even think of the terminology to use, but on what our society is going to look like when there's no more privacy in the next decade.
I hope that it doesn't come to that. I
Right.
don't. I would fight very hard to make sure that doesn't happen, because I can't imagine the profound effect that would have. You would have an entire society living in fear because they would know that at any given second someone's watching their every move. Yeah. And as soon as they do something, it's like, hey, I saw you do that. I'm in DC, but you're in Cali. I saw that you bought this thing, or you downloaded this, or you, and as of now, you're absolutely right. You can go on the web and you can find pretty much about everything, but you still have, typically what's out on the web are things that you publicly put out there.
Yes.
Right, at one point or another. If I have a photo on my phone that I took of with my wife, that's not, and it's, it's a private photo. If someone has a backdoor, well, they get that photo. I didn't put it on the web, and so it's a little bit different. It's not full privacy, but it's because you put it out there, and then based on the tracking software of the internet, millions of people can see it.
Yeah.
But it's a very difficult conversation.
It really is, and the fact that people are putting so much of their own private lives on the internet anyway.
Yeah.
Periscope. I don't know if you like watch Periscope.
I do, yeah.
Dude, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's like the new reality TV.
I know. It's funny.
I sit there and I'm like, wow, this is inappropriate. This person is sitting in their living room, smoking weed, slapping their cat off the table, driving drunk. I watched these for 45 minutes the other day. I sat there and watched these girls sit in their car and make prank phone calls. It was the greatest thing in entertainment history. You would send in a phone number, and you would send in a topic, and they would just prank call someone.
That's genius.
This guy sends in one. I know, I was loving it.
It's almost a business idea.
This guy, I know, right?
Guy who mailed glitter to his enemies.
There you go. That's awesome.
$5 will send you an envelope full of glitter, and you open it.
It pops all over. This guy called in and he said, I'm working at this Pizza Hut right now. Here's the main number. I want you to call and tell him you're stuck in the bathroom and you've got diarrhea everywhere. And these girls call up. They're like, I must have had some of your bad pizza because I pooped all over the place. And the person on the phone's like, what can I? And she's like, I need more toilet. And the person who had picked up the call was clearly upset that they had to deal with this right now. So it was really kind of.
I do not get paid enough to deal with this.
Right. This poor Pizza Hut person. So, we might, as a society, we might just be undoing ourselves when it comes to, when it comes to giving up our own privacy.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. I guess if we're doing it to ourselves, we don't have anyone else to blame, right?
Yeah.
Let's jump on. Let's carry on. FCC votes to unlock the cable box, with big air quotes on this. You heard about this? They want to essentially give free cable to the world. There is free television that you can still get over a digital antenna space, but apparently the concept is that let's just open up cable. The membership fees that are what's the word, collected from cable isn't even, it's something like 1% of their total revenue.
Yep, absolutely.
For a cable company.
Absolutely, that's big misconception. Yeah.
So everything it's still, a lot of it comes from advertising within shows. A lot of it comes from on-demand purchases. A lot of it comes from the bundled telecom stuff like phone and internet that they're already coming in over the same pipes. They're just selling you for more.
It would be interesting how they would do this, though. As you're right, most cable companies or telephone providers don't make a lot of money off TV because the licensing fees are so much. ESPN charges $100 million, and that's spread over all your users. So. Yep. And that's why you're right. They sell it with internet and phone because those are their profit margins. But you have to have TV with it. So it'd be interesting to see how they're going to do it.
I think it will be. It'll be kind of neat to see. I'm sure there'll be some way that it finds some sort of corporate sponsorship. Mm-hmm. But if it's free cable and it creates the opportunity for more competition in the market, because there's often arguments about antitrust laws and monopolies in the space where you have 4 or 5 major telecom companies or 4 or 5 major content providers. Now all of a sudden, Red Bull, you can be a subscriber to Red Bull's cable network, right? And you get all your other cable channels, but you get Red Bull specific content.
The thing that's nice too though is because most of the time when you sign up for Dish or whatever TV provider you have, it's the same content, right? You're going to be able to watch ESPN. Right. But what the difference is the experience for the content, right? You have, for instance, on this article they show Comcast. Well, they interact with their cable box, right? You can, it works with Xbox. You interact it with your hand, and so if this does happen, I'd want to see the innovation still be there as how you access TV. Make sure that that's still being evolved.
Right.
That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, so we'll see what comes of that. All right. We're going to jump on to our favorite video section. We got a humdinger for everyone today. God, I sound old when I say that.
That was humdinger.
I got a humdinger today.
It's not Throwback Thursday, is it?
No, it's Fuck Everything Friday.
There you go.
So, right now, streaming live is everyone's favorite wacky celebrity, Shia LaBeouf. LaBeouf.
That's
live
a cool
you have a cool last name, man.
There's only 11 people in the world that have it.
Your last name?
Yeah.
Do you know them all?
Yeah. Male and female. There's only 11.
That's awesome. So Shia LaBeouf right now, everyone's favorite actor from Transformers and the Indiana Jones movie, is streaming live in an elevator at Oxford College, himself sitting there and waiting for people to come in on the elevator.
Do you think he's standing or sitting the entire time?
When the doors open, you can see him. He's actually standing in the back corner. And this guy, there's almost 6,000 people live streaming this right now. And the fact that I'm showing it on this live stream might get this booted, but this is such an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of blown away by the concept of what it takes to become a viral video. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is Shia LaBeouf, and we're watching him because we think he's wacky, right? I don't know if you saw the thing where he sat in a movie theater and watched all of his own movies, and there was just a camera on his face, and it's essentially a multi-day reaction video of him watching his own movies. And he's talking about all sorts of random stuff, like how he used to poop his pants and how he used to do this. But when people show up and walk in the elevator, he will interact with them. Let me see if we can actually hear him. You can hear him talking to people inside the elevator.
Oh, yeah. It's quite awesome how someone can do this, and then we can have 6,000 plus people watch this in real time.
Yeah.
That's a crazy phenomenon in itself.
It really is. It really is. So this is streaming live on YouTube. If anybody tunes in to Shia LaBeouf streaming live in an elevator, I'm not sure what the end game is, but he's gaining. I walked in. I had a meeting this morning, and walked into the office. And my entire staff was head down on the thing with their headphones on. I'm like, what's going on? And everybody laughs at the same time. I said, what are you guys watching? What is this? And they're like, Shia LaBeouf is live in an elevator. Like, oh man, here we go. What's going on? When I told you, you said, what happened to this guy? He fell off the deep end.
Oh yeah, I mean.
But it becomes a conversation piece.
Absolutely.
And we're engaging with it. And if people watch this regularly, they've heard me talk about the power of this type of social media, about being in the know. We all want to be in the know. We all want to be the smartest person. We all want to break news to each other. So when I told you and you hadn't heard about it yet, I get that little tiny adrenaline squirt.
Oh, yeah.
That says, oh, here we go. Oh, doors are open. Here we go.
There he is. Just chilling in some sweatpants.
Right? This guy's doing card tricks with it. Doors are closed again.
Oh man.
What are we doing?
You're sitting here on a Friday, probably at work, watching Shia LaBeouf in an elevator doing card tricks.
Right. Right. Apparently, from what I understand, the people that are live tweeting, there's a line outside the elevator waiting to get in and do some elevator rides with him. I thought it would be cool to go there and do it, but I guess he's in Cambridge, Oxford. He's in England.
Oh yeah,
So I'm not available to go to England today, but
probably won't be there in 17 hours when the flight would land.
It would be sweet. It would be sweet if he came to Las Vegas and did something like this.
Yeah, do it in like the Wynn or something.
We should do a social experiment and see if we can get something similar to be relevant. A social media experiment. So if we took something like guy in a John McCain mask is standing on Las Vegas Boulevard giving free hugs.
Yeah.
And see if we can get, some sort of viral
I know a guy that holds signs off 215 that says, "I don't want your money. I just wanna see you smile." And he holds signs in groups of people out there.
That's great. Did you ever experience the guy that they used to call Mr. Happy that was up on the west side in Summerlin? On the corner of Sahara and Fort Apache here in Las Vegas, there used to be a guy who was sort of dressed like, I don't even know what you call him, a rock star. And he would sit there and he would have a guitar but not really play it and, dance and smile. And I don't know his real name, but for years and years and years, he was always on the same corner every single day. And everyone called him Mr. Happy, and there's all these articles about him and stuff. And
what a cool thing to do. And on your way home and... you just see this guy jamming out,
waving and smiling, and like the
you can't
music's
be mad
in his
watching
head.
a guy like that.
No,
you're in your car, just okay.
Makes you nice and happy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, Mr. Happy was his name.
The guy who stands signs called the Happy Sign Guy.
I like it.
They probably collaborate.
I was thinking I should get myself a billboard, just for no reason. Just put my own face on there.
Is it going to be like a legal one,
Right. Well, what sort of prompted me to think about it as I was driving back from downtown from my meeting this morning was I was looking at the election billboards.
Oh yeah.
And I said, wow. And there's one for a judge, and she's an attractive-looking woman, and she's up there. And I said, I should just get myself a billboard that just says Jeffrey Radcliffe, and see.
Both.
Right. I mean, what's
the worst that can happen?
I've added it to my bucket list.
There you go. Sometimes you just get the whole thing, just picture of you.
Right. All right, let's jump on to the meanest portion of our cast.
Uh-oh.
This is your website sucks section, and let's I'll also sort of soften the blow by saying sucks is really an opportunity to do better. But the one we're going to look at today belongs to a consulting firm here in the Valley. These guys put on mixers, biggest mix. What do we call them? Las Vegas's biggest mixers. And this is certainly a site for the ages. pjproductionlive.com. So skipping the obvious, where we're going to talk about the 4 things that matter the most on your website: who we are, what we do, why you should do business with us, and how to do business with us. Okay, who we are, we're not really sure. It just says just another pjproductionlive.com. So maybe I'm assuming that the company is PJ Production. Yep. What we do seems to be a mystery to me. And
I don't think that it says... Oh, there's an Our Services tab at the bottom, but it's one word.
So,
I found where to go.
Our services. So, great. Looks like they sell advertising on the site. I don't know if you can see it. I'm using Chrome, but there's a plugin that's unsupported. So I'm getting a failure on this site. The spinning sort of Las Vegas maybe they do 3D spinning graphic assets? We don't know.
Maybe that's a way of showing what a production looks like or trying to...
Right. So the other thing is why you should do business with us. Always important. Mm-hmm. Have you won any awards? Have you been in business for a long time? Do you know your space better than everyone else? I often say, what's your est? Are you the cheapest? Are you the fastest? Are you the smartest? Are you the bestest? What is the est that we can communicate on your website? For these guys, I still don't know what they do, and I haven't clicked around because one of the most important things is to gain people's attention as quickly as possible. We typically have less than 10 seconds to get them to engage with us online. Yeah. There is a phone number at the bottom, but if I want to come by your office, I guess I'm just going to North Las Vegas.
89031 specifically.
Which is a pretty big area. Yeah. Or I can email you on your AOL account, which makes me think you're not even in business anymore. Yeah. But I don't know if it'll show up on this here. There you go. We have this kind of... This is always a fun... the mouse trail graphics. What? I'm immediately distracted by anything else on the page. And I can spend hours mousing around here. So distraction and movement on the page. Mm-hmm. I often make the comment that one of the primary focus of a homepage is to get someone off your homepage. Yep. Get them to call you. Get them to engage with you. Get them to fill out a form. Get them to do whatever they're supposed to be doing on your page.
Absolutely.
Looking at your homepage is not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do business with you. Mm-hmm. And that's what becomes the most important at the end of the day. Making sure that they are indeed ready to do business with you by getting the few simple questions. I'm not even going to pretend to think that this website is mobile responsive, but when it comes to having a website, there's two things that are going to be really important. And when we talk about mobile responsive, it means it's going to render well on every single device. Your smartphone, which is by all accounts supposed to represent 90% of internet traffic in 2016.
Oh, absolutely.
People need to be able to one-touch call you or one-touch get directions. Most of the time, they're not on their phone trying to research your company. They might be, but the reality is you're going to give them that functionality. The two most common things they're going to do is click to call you or click to get directions to your facility. All right. Moving right along. If PJ Production Live would like to have a free consultation, I'd be happy to consult for free. And we weren't trying to be mean, but it's time to update your website.
Absolutely.
And save that in the archives, because that's a goofy piece of internet pop culture that would be awesome to hang on to. Communication and collaboration. Eric and I are in two completely different industries.
Yep.
Digital marketing, telecom consulting. Telecom IT consulting. One of the things that we both do well is communication and collaboration. And this resonates a lot. So communicating to our clients, communicating to our happy clients, communicating to our former clients, communicating to our vendors, communicating to our competitors, communicating with potential customers or potential networking groups in the industry is really, really, really important in almost any business. I've not yet met a business, save for maybe e-commerce, which Amazon is quickly killing, that doesn't require you to get off your ass and get out there.
Oh, you have to. Absolutely.
So what are some of the things that you've been doing? Your company is how many years old now?
Not even a year old.
Okay.
4 or 5 months, yeah.
So, when we're talking about your communication and collaboration practices, what are some things that you do that you find works particularly well?
So for me, I specifically look for people that are already doing the things that I'm looking at doing.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, for instance, I look to partner and build my team. So when I started my firm, I realized, okay, well, I can do IT consulting and telecom really well, but what are other aspects of my business that my customers ask me about all the time?
Yep.
One of them was web development. Hey, you handle RT, you handle everything. The one thing you don't handle is our web stuff and our SEO.
Right.
And so I figured, what's an organization that does this well, that already has something in place that I can bridge and we can grow together and collaborate on. And so just like you said, I thought, okay, well, I'll call you.
Right.
And and then we started having a conversation, and you have a little, and you talk, and then you figure out a way to, bridge what you want to do with what they're doing, and grow from there. And so
you're still seen as a one-stop shop, even though you're sort of quarterbacking the efforts of other people involved. So that resonates. In fact, yesterday I do a monthly CEO group that I sit in. Yesterday I was in the group, and one of the guys, he's a little bit older than me. He's been in business for decades. He knows this. He's very, very smart, very intelligent. Brings his new iPhone over to me and says, "Jeff, how the hell do I turn off this calendar notice?" I'm like, I'm not even an iPhone user. I'm like, I might by default. I'm the youngest person in the room, and I do search marketing, so I should know how to manage your iPhone calendars coming from a Gmail account that you no longer have access to. So, we spent 25 minutes trying to untangle his calendars, but it's very, very interesting. And a lot of the companies that we deal with at post-launch, they say, well, hang on, can you guys please come in and show us how to use our phones? Will you please come in and help us get new computers? Will you come in and teach my team how to use, whatever the software du jour is that they're using? Mm-hmm. And the reality is we don't do that stuff. Yeah. So it's important, for you and I to have a business working relationship, a friendship relationship, so I can confidently say, you need to call Intrinsic Technology. You need to contract them so that they can sort this stuff out for you, and be confident in your abilities.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what truly allows organizations to grow and develop is stepping out of your comfort zone and going to people that can augment your weaknesses and turn and make them stronger, and then just sitting down and communicating that.
I sat through a presentation of I don't know that she's actually got a degree in neuropsychology, but it was very much a psychology-focused approach to breaking the status quo in your business yesterday, which was really pretty interesting. But one of the things that she resonated, and you see people who are really successful in business do this. They don't have a status quo. And you mentioned doing things that maybe make you feel uncomfortable. She was saying what that actually does is rewire our preconceived notions of the way the world works.
Absolutely.
Because we're able to think in a way that we weren't before.
Absolutely.
And the comment she uses is that from 0 to 7 years old, a child is told what they can't do about 30,000 times.
Absolutely.
And they're told what they can do about 1,000 times. It's simply the way we're wired. Yeah. It goes back to our caveman lizard brain stuff.
Absolutely.
And change. When we all lived in a cave, change could mean death for our whole clan, right?
Absolutely.
But we don't really have to worry about that anymore. Change is really, really important. So teaching ourselves different things. So what I do is I go and I try to have lunch with every single one of my competitors every single quarter at a minimum. And I sit down with the CEO, and I know it's going to be an uncomfortable confrontation because we're all competing against each other. But I try to be really super open about what we're doing. I say, this is how many clients we have right now. This is how much we're doing in revenue. These are the tactics I'm seeing that are working. What are you guys doing?
Absolutely. And how's the feedback gone for you with that?
I really, really get a lot out of it. The sense of the industry, just like you, we probably have overlapping clients from time to time. If we're doing something specific for a client, I can say, how are you solving this problem? And I feel like being as open and forthcoming as I possibly can. My competitors, that they might give 10% of what I'm giving, but the reality is I get an opportunity to see, just even in their body language, if what I'm doing is resonating, if what I'm doing makes sense.
Absolutely. And I think as business owners, you have to do that. I don't sit down with a competitor once a week, but I do make a point to pick out an executive that I know I can learn something from, that I'm scared to talk to, or that I'm nervous about the conversation. I make it a point to get that contact on the phone, to keep calling them and doing it, because what I think you find is the more you do that, sure, that first meeting, it may not be open, but you keep having that, and it gets easier and easier, and you develop your communication. You learn that you can collaborate with people who maybe are competitors,
right?
And that you can work with them, and together, both your organizations will grow, and you'll figure out new ways and new ideas to help both your clients. It's very, very, very important. I couldn't even agree more 100%.
I would also, to continue on that same topic, it'll be important to offer yourself as a mentor to other individuals in the space. As you gain more and more knowledge, continuing to share that will put you in a position of being a thought leader. I had someone come to me the other day and said, Jeff, can you talk to me about what it's like to acquire another company? And I hadn't done it. I'm interested in doing it, but I've done a bunch of research. Someone said, dude, what do you do when you buy a company?
Yeah.
Like, well, from what I understand, here we go. But it's, there's all sorts of cool things that happen in that space. So if I could give one tip on the communication and collaboration point, take a minute next week, take 30 minutes and call someone that you have absolutely no reason to call. Reach out to them. Pick a CEO of a company. You can call me if you want. 702-800-2131. And let's talk. Just tell me about your business. Tell me about what you've got going on, and tell me about things that are happening in your world. And, maybe there's some opportunities for us to help each other out.
Absolutely. And I think most people will find that when you start having those conversations and you go out and you find somebody, that you won't get the reaction. Most people think, oh, no, they'll just immediately shut me down. Most people are more open. And when you ask for advice, you usually get a really good response. And you'll find that you'll be able to build bridges and connect with people that you didn't think you were able to. And it's going to take you in directions that you've never seen.
It's great. It's
awesome.
It'll feel like a rabbit hole because you'll start learning more and more and more and more. But what I've found, it's very fulfilling to have this sort of collective knowledge of dozens and dozens of different businesses and industries. And you get it because you get to work in all sorts of different industries as well.
Absolutely.
It makes cocktail party conversation really, really easy because you've always got something interesting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And these people become, they become part of your group, and they become leaders that you go to and you ask them, and they come to you. And so it just really helps build a very good working relationship. It's communication and collaboration is key in everything you do. Right. And making sure that, as you said, there's never a status quo. You always have to keep evolving that and pushing and finding new ways to make yourself uncomfortable. Yep. So you eventually become comfortable with that.
Yes. And that's one of the fun things about it.
Yeah.
It's all about the experience, right? At the end of the day,
that's all it is.
When you're lying on your deathbed, you're going to look back and say, I wish I would have watched more TV.
Not at all.
Not with the crap that's being produced these days, like this webcast. Let's hop on. We've got our marketing tip of the week. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Yext.com is a business directory checker. And they have a tool that is free to use that actually lets you punch in your business information. And we just did this with Eric's company. So I'm going to pick on your company a little
go
bit.
ahead.
So what we did was enter in yext.com, yext.com, and we enter in your business information. I didn't put in Intrinsic Technology Group, but your business information, your business phone number, your business address, your zip code, and scan. Now this tool will actually go through and run a quick list of every single. Intrinsic is relatively new, so let's not fault Eric. He's just contracted a company to help him fix this.
Yeah. You can too.
So this is to go through and build these directory listings. You can hire this company, Yext, to do it for you, or you can spend a half a day going and doing it yourself. I'm going to recommend for any business owner, go through and run yourself through this list. It's free to do, yext.com. They're going to call you. They're going to say, hey, we saw you ran a power listing check on are you interested in having us do it? And their prices aren't bad, but I've heard through the grapevine that if you ever stop using them, they go through and they torpedo all the listings they set up for you.
Well, that doesn't.
Whether or not that's true, I can't verify, but really, I think this is really important for people to do because it gives you exposure to the places that people are looking for your business. When was the last time you went on MapQuest to see how you're ranked?
I don't think I've used MapQuest in years.
Right, but there's still several million people out there that use MapQuest.
Yeah.
City Search, don't use that a ton. Yeah. Foursquare, 25 million people still use Foursquare. What do we have? Topics, Topix. I used to shop for my goth clothes at a place called Hot Topic.
There you go.
Going through and setting these up on your own is going to force you to do a couple things. One, you're going to have to create a little simple 1 or 2 sentence or paragraph long description of your business.
Yep. And
it's got to be good and it's got to be concise, answering who we are, what we do, why I should do business, how to do business with us. You're going to have to create some graphical, or have them created. You're going to need a logo. You're going to need pictures. If you have pictures of your building, a lot of these different sources allow you to upload pictures of your building, interior, exterior, whatever you got, pictures of your team. You can put them on all these different. These are going to become incredibly important as if you're building a website, if you're going through and trying to build web presence long term. All that stuff becomes incredibly important because people want to connect with the people in a business. The name on the front of a business, unless you're selling a product, Coca-Cola is great. I don't care about the people that work at Coca-Cola.
Exactly.
But if you're anything more than a product reseller, people want to know that there's people behind it. Certainly if you're trying to attach to small businesses in a community that you live in, it's really important for them to say, hang on, there's actual people behind it. Because there's so many websites you come across that have a toll-free number and no address. In fact, I had a conversation the other day with another client of mine, and their web developer says, why do you want to put your phone number on your website? People will call you. And he was telling me this, and I facepalm, maybe a double facepalm. I said, of course you want them to call you. Why wouldn't they call you?
How are you in business if no one's calling you?
Right.
It's like, why would you want a cell phone? You want people to text you and call you and be able to access the internet?
It's insane,
That's
right?
an interesting...
So I recommend going through and running this. Whether or not you've engaged an SEO company or search marketing company, this is a free tool. Just check it out.
Yeah, at least we'll tell you where your business stands up today and how exposed you are.
Yep. And if somebody, this is something you can do before you invest $1 in search marketing.
Yep.
Go through, run this list, spend a half a day building all these out. You've taken the time to take the first step in your own search marketing.
Yep.
Now, there are additional ways to optimize this stuff and keep it going, which is why you might want to bring in a professional or start reading about it online.
Yep.
But this is something everybody can do on their own.
Yeah. I think a lot of businesses, just like me, thought that when you naturally just create a website,
right,
all of a sudden, anyone who searches my company will pop up. I'll be the first person on the list, and they'll call me, and business will be booming and do it. And I think this is huge because I didn't even know until I started talking with you that, I just figured, oh, well, hey, someone will be able to, search our organization. Then it found out that a company that was in UK that went bankrupt 2 years ago is the first thing that comes up. And so I had a client call me and say, hey, are you still in business? And I was like, well, yeah. What do you, how would it not be? And he's like, well, the first thing that came up is, are you looking in the UK? And I was like, no. And so I would have never known that.
Right.
The client doing it. And that's the last thing you ever want, is to not know how people are getting to you or where your business stands online. And
fortunately, this person Googled you. What about the person that's going to look you up on Bing or on Yahoo or on Facebook or on whatever other network they decide? I mean, I'm sure there's some telecom consulting directory and IT services directory that you should probably be on to be able to help. If your business directory searches are really, really important to overall listings.
Absolutely.
Plus, in the world of SEO, all these create backlinks to your site that are relevant. They have some domain authority. They have some traffic. So it's really, really important to get this stuff in there. All these will want to sell you an expanded listing at some point. So don't be surprised when your phones and emails start blowing up. But that's the price you pay to be seen online, is people want to sell you stuff.
How much of a difference do you think it would make for your website by having all these listings? How much do you think it would increase traffic? If you had to say a percentage, like by doing on this and coming up in more search directories.
Initially, 50% more traffic.
Wow, that's
significant.
Huge.
A significant amount of people are going to find you on these listings.
50%. Well, then you gotta go. You have to go and do all of these right now, because you get 50% more people finding your business.
Yeah.
Then that can literally turn your business around.
Right. Considering that this device is what most people are looking on. Usually, I don't know. You're on iPhone. Does it use Google or does it use? It has to, right?
Yeah, it's just Safari, and then I go straight to Google and search everything.
So the results I get, and I was looking up a car dealership, look like this. This has absolutely nothing to do with SEO. I Googled their name, and this is the Google My Business listing for this car dealership. Before I got to any search rankings. So it doesn't, being at the top of Google is great if people are hitting you from your desktop or a laptop. Yeah. But on that, I mean, I need to be able to one-touch call. And they count that as a Google service. So all this stuff happens. People that are using Bing, people that are using Yahoo, people that are using MSN, people that still use Lycos or whatever other random stuff is out there. Ask.com and what was the other one? There was one, i1.com. Were you ever exposed to that one?
i1?
Yeah. Letter i1.com was a search engine that every time you would use it to search, you would actually get drawing tickets to be entered in a drawing for like $5 million that they would do at the end of the month. I don't know anybody who ever actually won it. Yeah, I had thousands and thousands.
Bing had a program like that where you'd accumulate credits, right? Do they still have that program? I remember, if you use Bing and you search through them and you access certain websites, you get credits and you can redeem them for different things or so. But it takes an ungodly amount of time. Like maybe once a year you can get a gift card or something. You can just use Bing as your browser. But I'm a Google person myself. Simple, easy search bar.
Right. I'm the same way. So wrapping up here, we're getting toward the end of our cast time.
Oh.
Sorry, man. I had a good time too, though. You did great.
I appreciate it.
Again, go ahead and throw out your website. Throw out your phone number.
Yep. So once again, you can look us online up at intrinsictg.com. My direct line, my cell is 702-300-1632. If you have a company and you guys are looking at making any changes to your IT, telecommunications, or you're just looking for someone to come in for free and show your organization, unique new ways to leverage technology and save you money and show you just how to do things differently, then give us a call and we'll be happy to come out there and see how we can help your organization.
Take a meeting for an hour. Let Eric take a look at your bills. Let Eric take a look at everything you've got in place. You could be saving thousands of dollars a year. I don't know. I mean, I spend almost $500 a month on my phone and internet into this place. If there's an opportunity for me to cut that bill by even 20%, that's $1,200 a year that I've just saved.
Yeah. Or even if someone's unhappy with their vendor, they don't feel like they're getting support and they just want a second opinion. Someone saying, hey, this is what we did. It's not working out really well. What do you think of it?
Right.
We have organizations all the time that do it and say, hey, just come look at what we're doing and tell us, is there maybe an organization that you saw that is doing it a little bit differently that could work for us?
Right.
It just all goes back to that collaborating and communicating, with your clients. So
Exactly. Well, Eric, thank you so much for being part of our show today.
Thank you.
We will end here and see if we can have a fantastic weekend. You got anything fun planned for the weekend?
Going hiking in the Colorado River. It's a 6.5 mile hike, and it's past the hot springs, so it's actually really nice right now.
Nice.
And then gonna go see Deadpool tonight.
Good.
I'm hoping it's as good as the reviews say.
I thought it was fantastic.
He's still alive, huh?
Yep, so we're going to cut to Shia LaBeouf in the elevator as we play our outro here to see what is happening, if anything super exciting is happening. The Trump team is really buying a lot of ads on this one. Uh-oh, is he gone? Did we lose him?
Oh, he's gone.
Maybe he's out of here.
I thought for a second that was, the elevators have 2 doors that open on both sides.
Right.
And all those people were in there. I thought it was on both sides. I didn't know it was on the back wall.
That's funny.
So you guys just have
It's a pretty simple setup.
brainstorming with Kirk of ways to maybe have us pitch in provide some higher-end web podcasting equipment.
Yes.
So we can maybe look at doing a joint podcast or something to be able to, do it. So talk about that for